I do think a lot came out in this episode that needed to come out, like, that we needed to know about, specifically,
Mhm.
like, the Bronwyn, Todd, and Muzzy situation. Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join 3 Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers! Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Reunion Part 3.
Do you guys really think we needed 3 parts? 2 would have been fine.
Absolutely not. But this is the new formula for Bravo. 3 reunions, end the season on a trip. You know,
blah, blah.
they find a formula that works one time and then they stick
then they
with it
keep
until
using
we all say we've had enough.
Good.
Okay. You know what? Before we get into this, I have to bring up some really exciting news. So, Kathy Hilton, the Kathy Hilton, started following us on Instagram and has been engaging with us. By the way, Kelly asked the question, how does she not have a generator? Guess what? She has a generator.
House
She answered us.
generator.
She
Good
has
girl,
a full house
Kathy.
generator.
Good
And
girl.
she did blow dry her hair with her handheld fan. She's maintaining that.
She's so
So,
funny.
Very
you have
impressive.
no idea. You have no idea what this means to me. That the real Kathy Hilton actually engaged with us and now follows us on Instagram on We Wine Whenever. And I will also ask our listeners, please follow us on Instagram. It's actually our least followed platform of all of our platforms.
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
I don't
Kathy
know
Hilton
why.
found us there.
There
And
you
I
go.
could just picture her.
That's right.
Right. I could picture her laying in bed, scrolling and coming across us.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So I have to, I had to share that with everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's lots of fun. And I think if anybody's going to follow us, I think there's just something about that she's the one. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yes.
Absolutely.
She's just very
Totally agree.
relatable and she's fun and she just, yeah, I'm happy it's her. That's our first.
Yeah.
Me
I totally
too.
agree.
Me
Well,
too.
Danielle.
Yes.
Cabral
Well,
follows
yeah,
us.
our
And she's
favorite,
awesome.
Danielle
Yeah, she's
Cabral,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome too.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Frank
Yes.
Catania Sr. also, which
Yes,
is
he does.
also very exciting
Very excited.
because we love him.
Yes.
All right, so we love you, Kat.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
we
you,
do love Kathy. And I wanted to bring up something before we go into the reunion. Bravo Docket did a podcast about Brittany Bateman. And I wanted to get this information out there. They went through, like Bravo Docket does, they went through all the court proceedings and the legal filings between Brittany and her ex-husband. And they also put out there, which I'm not as concerned about, I'm not really going to talk about, what kind of mess Jared is in as well. But
Yes.
the thing that I found, I know, like, who cares, right?
Who cares?
Exactly. The thing that I found so interesting about Brittany is she has some abuse allegations against her second husband.
Is
And
this the father of her children?
No.
no,
Okay.
no, his name,
So
the second husband, his name is John Scott Underwood. And the allegations are severe emotional and financial abuse, controlling
Financial.
behavior. Some of the accusations include the ex-husband keeping a whiteboard list of her mistakes, installing cameras to monitor her and her children, dictating her beauty products and clothing, and controlling her daily gym workouts. So,
he sounds like a peach.
yes.
Winner chicken dinner.
Yes.
Listen,
Yes.
Dudes
Holy
with three
cow.
names. Dudes with 3 names. I found it's never a good thing.
You gotta watch.
Too
Yeah.
many names.
Or at least guys who refer to themselves as someone with 3, because
Yes,
you know,
3 names.
most men have middle names, but most don't introduce themselves as
John Small Underwood. Yeah. No.
Scott, John
Exactly.
Scott. I mean, it could be small. Who cares?
He's sounding small. He's sounding
something small if he's that
Something small.
controlling.
But this kind of explains her strained relationship with her daughters because they go into great detail, Bravo Docket, about this. So I recommend that our listeners go and listen to that episode because, like I said, it gives a lot of information. It was the January 14th episode. Another thing it says is the status is that it's sealed. So there's a lot of unresolved issues. And there's also a lawsuit from the mother-in-law, John Scott's Underwood's mother-in-law, stating that there's legal issues involving a $100,000 claim regarding a family trust against Britney. Well, she didn't have control of that. He did. So if there's a family, I mean, this is what it's looking like. Obviously, we don't know, but it's looking like this guy was a real winner. And I think that it explains a lot of what we see of Britney on the show. That's all I'm going to say about it. Like, I think that she hasn't really given this information to us, maybe because she can't.
And well, if it's sealed, I would imagine she can't.
Right.
So she divorced her girl's dad, married this guy, and then so her girls stayed with their father. He kept custody of them.
I guess so, yes. But I think that they were with her at one point, and because of this ex-husband is with him recording them, they're like, we're not dealing with this.
Yeah.
And I think, from what I can understand from listening to Bravo Docket, like, it was a bad situation. It was a bad situation.
And then maybe she finally leaves him, and then she starts dating Jared.
Yes.
So
Listen, she doesn't have a good picker.
No.
Yeah, she doesn't have a good picker. And maybe most of her issues between she and her daughters aren't necessarily about her relationship with Jared. It probably goes back to that second husband, but maybe the Jared relationship
carried over,
triggered them.
Yeah. I think that so I just wanted to put that information out there. So just to give it a little more context, because we pick up on the reunion where we left off on part 2, which was where Britney was very upset with Meredith and she walks off because she thinks that Meredith is calling her anti-Semitic because she wrote that post about the nail person that, again, she had no idea that she was just commenting on the way he did her nails, not about his beliefs.
Yeah, and I think that what Meredith I guess was claiming that Britney didn't take her post down quick enough. Like, she was like, "Oh, I don't know anything about this," but listen, I don't think that makes her anti-Semite.
Stop it.
I just
That's all I have to say.
go.
Stop it. Stop it.
I mean, and I absolutely loved when Andy said to Meredith, "Maybe she just doesn't like you."
Yeah.
Like, because honestly, that's what it is, Meredith. You're not a nice person. You haven't been very nice to her. So that's probably what it is. I'm sure if she wouldn't have gone to your bat mitzvah, right? If she truly felt like that.
So it makes it's not even worth talking about because it makes not a lick of
you're
sense.
absolutely right.
Not a lick of sense. She's pulling stuff out of her ass and
she's
she
deflecting.
Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah. I did think it was interesting. You know, she is backstage crying. I mean, she's really crying. I say hysterical. Like, that's how much she's crying backstage. And Andy continues talking to Meredith and asking her, Mary sat you down and she tried to have a reasonable conversation with you about it. And she said, yeah, I didn't understand that. And Mary's like, well, that in itself is alarming. Like, that you didn't understand it. Right?
Yeah.
So then Andy starts to talk, and Britney comes back in and just like sits down and says, Meredith, I apologize profusely. I bawled my eyes out. I told you I was sorry. Shut up. We squashed it. I'm back. We're done. I'm like, wait, what? Like, what?
And it was Meredith and Mary were like actually like making headway with their conversation. And
she just
it was like, like Britney didn't acknowledge that at all. She just sat down and was like, Meredith. And everybody was like, okay. It was, I mean, even her walking off, like.
Listen, I understand she was upset. She had every reason to be upset. But the problem comes in when you add your extra performative oomph on top of it. You denigrate whatever valid upsettedness you had in the first place by your drama. Because
overly theatrical.
Yeah, when your
Overly
theatric comes out
theatrical.
too much, you
Yeah.
fuck it all up. You mess it
Yep.
all up, and
Yep.
you're just no. She just has to stop with the theatrics, and it's
Mhm.
fine. She had
Right.
every reason to be upset, but
Right. Move on.
And listen, I understand some of the ladies not loving her because of that behavior, because I find it annoying as well.
Yeah.
However, I don't think she's anti-Semitic.
No,
And calling her that was ridiculous.
it was rude.
It was.
Yes.
By the way, so then Whitney says, Andy, like, I liked this conversation between Meredith and Mary. Andy's like, I did too. Like, let's get back
Yeah.
to that, which I was glad we got back to that.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they're very easily redirected at these reunions. So yeah, like bring it back.
Yeah. So Mary says to Meredith, there was a lot of things that you were venting and you could have vented to Lisa. And she's like, Meredith said, yeah, I didn't say it was in the beginning of the flight and at the end of the flight. And Andy asked Meredith, like, had she had a couple drinks before she got on the plane? And she's like, well, I had one drink in the lounge. Then Andy asks, a viewer wants to know, they're very confused why you can't remember what happened at the end of Crazy Rich Asians. I was like, this is the question you
Yeah.
ask her?
Right.
Yeah.
These are the things
That
that you're
was-
wondering, people?
that was so
no.
dumb.
That was dumb.
Because listen, I've never seen that movie, but apparently there's like a big thing at the end. But I know I've watched movies and haven't specifically remembered the ending. We were just talking about the last Stranger Things before, and I was like, wait a minute, like trying to think in my head.
How did it end?
Yeah.
I just watched that on New Year's Eve.
But this is the thing with Britney and the plane. I believe that Meredith was pissed off. I believe that she had more than one drink. Maybe she had one
Definitely.
in the airport, but she certainly had one on the plane because she said she spilled the wine. So I think she got all jacked up. I think she was being probably very nasty. But I also think that Britney is very dramatic. And again, just like I said before, with her having reason to be upset, but then walking off and being overly dramatic, she probably was way over the top with her drama and sucked everybody else in. And I'm sure that Britney made it much worse than it actually was because of her over the top reaction. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
On
I
the
do.
plane?
I do. I understand. But I think because so many other ladies validated what she said and they know she's over
Yeah.
the top and they didn't feel like she was over the top. I mean, at one
Right.
point,
And I
Angie
think if they
says-
did, they would have called her out on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Angie says when she walked off crying, that was nothing compared to how she was on the plane. So I don't think all these ladies are that anti-Meredith that they're going to jump on Britney's side that much.
And it doesn't sound like she was reacting other than crying, because she wasn't yelling back. We would know by now if she were yelling back and going back at Meredith. So it sounds to me like she was just sitting there like crying, possibly sobbing, like maybe over the top sobbing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
there's definitely an
yes.
over the top factor to
Sure.
her being upset. And I'm not saying it wasn't warranted. I'm just saying that it was certainly over the top. And when you behave over the top like that,
Well, it's like the boy who cried wolf.
yeah,
It could go back to her second husband, who had a whiteboard of list of all the things she did wrong, though, too, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, that's
could
wild.
Could be a PTSD trauma response. Do you know what I'm
Absolutely,
saying?
could be. Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
So the fact that Meredith doesn't own any part of it ever is just really the part that is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. I said it last week. You're clearly lying about something if you admit to nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
it's so apparent. She's ridiculous. Seriously, Bravo. Get her off the show. When she's not on the episode, you don't miss her at all. She brings nothing. People hate Lisa Barlow, but let's face it, at least like
she's entertaining as hell.
She's entertaining, and if you think
She's
of
entertaining.
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, you think of Lisa Barlow. You think of Heather Gay. You even think of Whitney Rose, for crying out loud. You don't think of Meredith
Don't think
Marks,
of
in
Meredith.
my
No.
opinion.
No.
She's not she's not like an X factor on this show. Get rid of her. She shares nothing, admits to nothing. Just get rid of her. We don't need her. She's a non-factor.
I agree. I've never been a fan of Meredith Marks. Wasn't a fan of her son Brooks because I wasn't a fan of her and I never gave him a chance. But after watching Next Gen NYC over the summer, I was like, what? I'm actually a fan of her son, getting to see him in his own element without her. So we don't need her anymore.
We don't need Meredith Marks anymore. At all.
And then Lisa chimes in and she's trying to, she's another one who starts crying. Andy hands her a tissue and she said, like, I just felt so much empathy for Meredith because of the way you ladies made me feel on the boat. I'm just like,
oh my God,
really?
She turned it right back on herself.
Right.
Dropped a dime. I was like, my God.
She's a master at that. She's really good at
Yeah.
I mean, it's clearly an art form with her. She should give classes on that. She should do what Amanda does on Beverly Hills and actually sell that class. Now that I'd pay for.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. No.
Mary says to Lisa, you can't be crying about things that you did in the past. And Lisa says, I'm not taking accountability for stuff I didn't effing do. And she's yelling, like, that's it. That's the end of the story. And that's the thing with Lisa when she's on these reunions or she's confronted. She just keeps yelling. And she thinks the louder she gets, the more valid her points are.
Yep.
And it's like, it's just more annoying. It's not that you're more valid.
She yells and yells and yells and doesn't stop talking and doesn't stop talking. And then she's like, I'm done. I'm done. They're not even listening to me. And like when he started talking about John, she was saying how embarrassed she was and she would never do that to him. And all of the other ladies were like, Lisa, we know John. We know he loves you. Like that didn't change our perspective of John. She would not shut up for 2 seconds to listen to hear them say that. All she kept talking about was her feelings and how it made her feel. And then she's like to Andy, forget it, because nobody's listening to my feelings. It's like, holy shit.
Well, this is the thing with that. She's just unbelievable because instead of being concerned about something that your husband felt that he had to say on national television about your relationship. I mean, obviously he said this on the show so that you would watch it back and maybe you would really listen to what he has to say. He could have said it to you in private, but he chose not to. So instead of worrying about that, your main concern is that he made you look bad. And that to me says it all. That just puts the rubber stamp on the narcissistic behavior because that's what you're concerned about.
She really doesn't care about the real issue. She only cares about the optics.
Absolutely.
She only cares about what we all think it is. Not, she doesn't care what it really is and how to maybe make it better.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't you be concerned that your husband had to say that in the first place?
Right.
Like, that should be your focus, not that he made you. You made yourself look bad in the fact that he even had to say it to you.
Yeah, it's just, it sounds exhausting to live like that, doesn't it? That sounds exhausting to me.
No, it definitely does. It does. So they're kind of going back and forth and Whitney's jumping in. And then Andy says, to wrap this up to Meredith, is there any accountability that you'd like to take about what happened on the airplane ride or on the way back or admit that you did or said? And Meredith said, 100%. I vented to Lisa. It was not an appropriate time and I didn't mean to hurt Brittany's feelings.
Well, yes, you did. Yes, you did. That was the whole focus of your conversation with Lisa. Of your venting to Lisa, the whole point of it was to hurt Brittany's feelings.
She said, I did say all those things to her face. Everything I said on the plane, I had already said to her face. Okay.
So then why would you feel the need to say them again?
Right. That's your accountability.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Brittany then thanks Mary specifically for the plane. You know, she said, I know that you and I have had our differences, but you really rallied around me. You stayed with me in the customs line. You were really there for me. And she's like, I felt your kindness. And Heather jumps in. She's like, all of a sudden, I felt like Pastor Mary showed up. that's another thing. Like Mary. So my thoughts on Mary have changed every season with her, right? The first season,
Yes.
she was very curt. She was very rude, right?
Yes.
She was rude. I mean, she called Heather,
Inbred.
what does she call?
Inbred.
Inbred, right. She told Jen Shaw she smelled like hospital. I mean,
I
just
mean,
the things
listen,
that she
it
said.
is what it is. I don't think there's anything wrong with that if she really did smell like hospital. She did just come from visiting her aunts. She wasn't off. She wasn't way off with it.
So then we don't she doesn't come to the reunion when everything comes out about her church closing and all the backlash. She doesn't go to that reunion, and then she's not on for the next 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we get her back as a friend of, and she's still a little not really participating, still a little off with her words, but very entertaining nonetheless. And then obviously she goes through this horrible time with her son, and for a couple seasons, and we see her going through that. But this whole time this is going on, there's this investigation into her church. And I know that there was a documentary where they called it a cult. I mean, I think a cult is a very strong word. Did she ask for money? Yeah, they asked for money. Did people give them money that they probably didn't have? Probably that happened, but I don't know that's cult behavior, right?
Oh, I mean, listen, if you're calling her church a cult, you could call a lot of churches a cult. You could
Yeah.
call a lot of religious organizations a cult.
Yeah, because they ask for money that sometimes people don't have.
But if you're dumb enough to give it,
right? Well, yeah.
If you're dumb enough to give it,
we choose to be parts of these religious organizations.
Yeah.
Nobody was holding any of her parishioners against their will for being there. I didn't watch the documentary yet. I will.
Yeah,
No, I
I'll
did.
need it.
I mean, she's going to ask for money. She's a leader of a church.
I agree with that. I mean, there is
I
some
don't know
things
how
that
aggressive she is, but
listen, I mean, we've seen her do her preaching. She gets it in her, and it is what it is. But the things I found interesting in that documentary that have never been brought up are the things that, like, for example, she said that her grandmother wanted her to marry her step grandfather. That's what her grandmother's wishes were. But the facts are that she was, the term isn't excommunicated, but she was, at that time, she wasn't a member of the church. She was excommunicated because her grandmother had kicked her out of the church because of her behavior, because of her drinking and her drugs. She was not a good person at that point. So, like, why is that? Why are those questions not asked? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why is that never brought up?
Andy really didn't go into the documentary that much.
Not at all. I mean, he just kind of glossed over it. And then other things like, listen, I think she said that she's had a strained relationship with her mother. But, her mother was interviewed for this documentary before she had passed. And again, it's her word against Mary's word.
That's what it is. Exactly. It's their word against hers. I mean,
and there's other people in the documentary. There's other people, specifically when she went to Whitney's house and she said about her, Laura, you had brought this up. She said about one of her parishioners was driving and they didn't have their seatbelts on and went flying out of their sunroof.
Yeah.
And fell into the neighborhood. And one of Whitney's kids said, "Oh, are they alive?" And she's like, "No, they're dead. Wear your seatbelt."
Yeah,
Okay.
she can do some kooky shit. She can definitely do
like
some kooky
that.
shit.
Not only was a parishioner, but that was like a parishioner's very close family. That it was her organist, the person who we met on the show as her organist. It was his niece.
Wow.
Like, this is not just like some rando.
Right.
Right. Like, some of the people in this documentary we have seen on the show and had been with Mary for a long time and had some valid points. And it just kind of blows my mind that Bravo, they paint these pictures of these characters that they want us to see, right? Like, they brought back Mary for a reason. They knew all this stuff when they brought her back. They knew all this stuff. Because this was all in the works at the time. So it just kind of, I don't know. It has me really second guess a lot of the things we see and talk about. Kind of like, Kelly, remember when we were talking about Members Only Palm Beach? And we watched the whole thing and we were like, oh my gosh, this is a train wreck. And then the more it came out, the more we found out what really happened, the real behind the scenes. Like, we only saw what they want us to see.
Right.
I don't know. I know that I love I love reality, but I really want it to be reality.
It's not, though.
And
It's
not
not.
manufactured by the producers. And
Mhm.
especially, and we've talked about this, especially with this plane thing, the producers know what happened. Tell us. We're invested in this show for a reason. Just like the Potomac BS with the house. The producers know what really happened. They know who set that house up. They know who knew about the water not running. Tell us. We're investing our time into these shows, but the producers are like the puppet masters behind the scenes,
Yes.
editing and only showing us what they want us to see. I mean, listen, I don't feel bad for any of these women. You choose to go on this show. So by choosing to go on this show, just like we choose to come on this podcast a couple of times a week, we are choosing to allow people out there to react the way they want to react. And some of them don't react well, but it's not reality TV.
No.
It's producers TV
Yes.
because they're editing
And
and
they
giving us
work-
what they want to give us.
Right. And they work really hard at pitting characters against each
Sure.
other. And
Sure.
there's all kinds of goings on behind the scenes. So, yeah, I agree with you, Wendy. I think there's a lot to Mary.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot there.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
I mean, is it confirmed that her grandmother wanted her to marry Robert Sr., though?
No, there's no confirmation. There's nothing in writing. It wasn't in writing anywhere. It's just Mary's word.
Right. So, who knows?
It's just Mary's word. So, no, it's not confirmed.
Okay.
It's
And I
not
guess
confirmed.
Robert Sr. was like, I'm not going to argue.
Yeah. And he, we're not ever going to see him again because of how he was shown the first season. So he doesn't need
Yep.
to,
Yeah.
So Andy then asks Whitney if she's decided to walk away from her company or if she's trying to win back ownership. And she said she's fully separated the company. It was finalized in the middle of the summer. And unfortunately, she had to buy back all of her inventory, but she now officially owns the Wild Rose Beauty brand. Like that is her company, solely her own again. So I was glad to hear that. I have no idea how
good
much it
for her.
cost her to buy it back, but at
Probably
least
too
she
much.
got it back. Oh, I'm sure it was too much.
Yeah.
And then Andy asked, how are you and Justin now? And she's like, we're continuing to work on communication. Listen, I really like when she was really getting emotional and she asked for a minute and she went in the back to talk to Justin. I thought Justin was a rock star. I
He
mean,
always is with her. He always is
he
with her.
really is. He really
So,
is.
I have a prediction.
Okay, what's your prediction?
My prediction is she's going to bring it out that she cheated on him.
I totally agree with you. Because when Bronwyn was speaking about she and Todd, and then Whitney started talking, I really thought that Whitney was basically saying she was coming from the same place as Bronwyn because Justin had asked her to separate. I thought that's what she was going to say. And I thought she probably cheated.
I think
she got so
I
emotional.
think she's the Todd
Totally
in
agree
this
with you.
scenario.
Well, she said that. She did say that she said that she was the Todd in the scenario.
And
she said she was the
said
Todd.
they've gotten through worse.
Yes. I also know that there's a blind out there that I keep seeing that a Salt Lake City housewife is in a full-blown same-sex relationship that we don't know about. And
It could be
my
Heather.
guess is Whitney.
Could be.
It
My
wouldn't
guess is
surprise
Whitney.
me if it were Heather. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, that
Really?
wouldn't surprise me either. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Okay,
Yep.
that would
Yeah,
surprise me.
totally.
I don't know why. Nothing would surprise me at this point.
Yeah,
I know.
No, right?
I know.
I mean, we've
could
never
see
seen her
Heather. I
man.
could see that. Right, exactly. She talks about it a lot, which doesn't
Good
mean
for her.
anything. She could be bisexual. Yeah, exactly. Good for her.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it were her. And maybe that's why, and I'm not judging her. I think it's great how honest she is about the fact that she's so happy to be an empty nester. Maybe this is why. Maybe she can be open in a relationship that she otherwise couldn't be when her girls were home. Not that I think her girls seem like so cool and they're so close, but you don't know. Maybe she just wanted to keep that part private.
I think with Heather, her whole deal of just being so excited to be kid free, I don't think it has anything to do with her kids. Like I've seen people say, like, "Oh, like how can she be like that?" I think that so much emphasis was put on her for being a mother. Like it was her whole entire
Identity.
makeup and identity and self-worth was wrapped up in being mom. So I think that
I mean, it happens to
having
all of us.
yeah, but
You have
having
to
that
work hard
backed
to not let it.
right, but having that backed off, I think, is what is giving her such joy. I don't think it's the fact that she doesn't like her children or love her children or you know what I mean? I think it has to do with the
And
whole Mormonism.
let's give Heather credit for being honest about all of that. Because you have
100%.
Heather who's willing to go on national television and be like, yeah, I can't wait until all my girls are out of the house. And then we have Meredith, who lies about everything and admits to nothing and shows us we don't see her husband. We don't see her son. We saw her daughter twice on the show. You don't show us you working. You show us nothing. We see nothing. You showed us probably a fake bat mitzvah, quite honestly. I'm sure that was all fake and phony. I'm sure that
I wouldn't
wasn't
be
a real bat
surprised.
mitzvah.
I wouldn't be
Right.
surprised.
She shows us nothing. So let's applaud Heather for actually being honest on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You might not agree with her, but at least she's being honest.
I love that she's being honest. And I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you. No, I come home from work and all of my children still live here. And they are 18, 21, and 23. I go straight to my room because that is my space. They
Mm-hmm.
are downstairs. I don't have possession of my main floor.
They're
Because they
invasive. They're
do.
invasive. They're invasive.
They're
They're
like,
invasive.
what is it? Ivy.
Locusts. Locusts.
I was thinking more of a plant. They're like bamboo.
Yeah. Just sprout everywhere.
Yeah, like I love if I can come home from work and nobody's home and I don't have to worry about listen, I really don't have to worry about cooking. I like to cook, but if it's just me, I'm like I can eat whatever I want and I don't have to even I don't even have to
Think
consider
about
what
it.
the rest of them are eating, you know? They're all very self-sufficient, but I take it on myself. But I love nothing more than that to come home and nobody be home.
Listen, I wish it
think it's
wasn't
great.
freezing down in this basement because this is where I would come, but it's freaking freezing down here because we don't have heat because nobody else
God.
is coming down here
I
either.
hope you have a blanket on your legs right now.
I don't. My nose is like, it's like ice cold.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So the next thing Andy asks, and I love this, Andy says to Meredith, I'm curious, like, what was your reaction to Seth on Next Gen saying his desire to be pansexual?
What is
said that.
pansexual? I should have looked it up
Okay.
before I.
Okay, so pansexual is that you like somebody or in love with somebody regardless of what their sex is. So they can, it doesn't matter what their sex is. Do you understand that?
You know what I think about that? I think that he was hanging out with the younger kids and he was just saying some shit to be cool. So I think
Absolutely.
that's what that was.
Well, that's totally what it was because I watched him do it and I laughed hysterical, like I said. And I fell in love with Seth on Next Gen. I love Brooks on Next Gen. I love Seth. Meredith, no, still don't like her. Yeah. And she said, listen, if I think he's being lighthearted and, you know, if that's what he wants, then just let me know. It's something that she was just trying. Listen.
She
She's just
doesn't
trying to
even
get
know
it
what
out
it
of the way.
means because that's not an intelligent response to that if you actually knew what it meant. I didn't know what it meant. So thank you for explaining it. But if that's what he wants, hey, let me know. That's the whole point, Meredith. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You could be a
Doesn't
man
matter.
or a woman. There's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
You just happen to be
whoever
a
you're
woman.
attracted to. Right. It's whoever
Exactly.
you're attracted to. Right. Right. And honestly, I
Just
don't
so
think that
stupid.
Seth knows what it means either.
No, he's just trying to be cool. He's trying to be
Absolutely.
cool.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's trying to be hip.
Yeah.
What else? A viewer asked Angie if Electra is interested in pursuing her Greek citizenship. She said she's not interested in pursuing her Greek citizenship. She's interested in going to Greece for the summer. Okay. Yeah. And she also said that Electra's very into her horse and she's into jumping and she wants to be in the Olympics. So
Yeah.
she will help her, you know, achieve that goal, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all have our moments where we realize that our kids aren't going to live the lives that we wanted them to, or at least live them exactly how we wanted them to.
Right.
Yep. Andy asked Brittany about, you brought Olivia to BravoCon and she's here tonight. That's her one daughter. She said that for the first time in 6 years, she's going to have both of her girls home for Christmas. So I thought, listen, that's great news too. Like they're
Mhm.
making progress. They're making
It was
progress.
it's just kind of messed up though that she was dumb enough to bring Jared too. Like it could have been a situation where you could have went to BravoCon with your daughter and had that nice mother-daughter time, but you had to bring the tool with you.
There was no way Jared wasn't going to BravoCon. He thinks he has just as much right to be there as Britney does.
Mhm.
That guy is
A tool.
maddening. Yeah.
He's thirsty. He
Yeah.
just wants the camera time.
So
That's what it's
Mhm.
all
so
about.
thirsty.
Yeah.
So thirsty.
Unbelievable.
The other thing I learned is from Anna's podcast is that Britney was supposed to be a full-time housewife. She
I
thought
didn't
she
hear
was
that.
going to be a full-time housewife. She did her tagline, she did her intro piece. Like she was surprised that she was a friend of. I said,
That
"Oh,
is
that's
interesting.
I mean, it's actually not surprising, but like we've said, they don't know sometimes. They don't know.
Right. Right.
The producers decide who's going to be what when. So
And how
that
they're
tells me
gonna
that
edit it.
that tells me that the contract has got to be really kind of wonky. Like if you don't know if you're a full-time
Yeah,
or
very open-ended, right?
I
right,
would imagine that only certain people get those types of contracts.
right, right.
Because it's not always like I think like obviously like Jennifer Tilly, Kathy Hilton, like they're happy being friends of. So give them a friend of contract, they're gonna sign it, no problem. But somebody like Britney or Jen Fessler, talk about thirsty, they just want to be on the show. So they'll take the friend of now, but their aspirations are to be a full-time.
Right.
Marisol.
So it came out this week that Gretchen is not going to be on season 20 of Real Housewives of OC. Now, she was a friend of her last season,
Yes.
and I am sure that was not her decision. I'm sure that was not her decision.
I was listening to Husbands Watching Housewives, and I was listening to them recap last week's episode of Salt Lake Reunion, and they said
Mhm.
Andy gave more, went so deep on this anti-Semitic thing with Brittany and Meredith, but barely questioned Gretchen
It's so
about her.
true.
It is true. It is 100% true. How deep he went on this compared to that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It's
hey,
true.
look, she's gone now. So it doesn't really matter what happened at the reunion because
Yeah.
she's gone. And I'm sure that's why.
Yeah, I am too. I am too. So then the other thing that comes up is this is when the whole Lisa and John thing comes up. But Lisa says Seth knows that I'm the one who does everything. Like I'm the one that gets everything done. I'm the
Oh,
one
you
that
mean
makes sure
John?
that Henry has
John.
John. I
Yeah.
said Seth. Yeah, I meant John. Yeah.
It's easy to do though.
Confused. Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God, after this whole conversation about what he said to you, you are still up here. You're still putting yourself up here. And you're saying that you do everything and John does nothing? That he would be lost without you?
And I mean, listen,
It's like
we all probably feel that way. We all probably do feel that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
However, when your husband sits you down on national television and basically tells you you don't listen to him, and if you're not on the same page, it's because he's not on your page. It's cause for a pause. Like
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying.
yeah, like
Say it. It has
we could
nothing to
all
do.
think that we're running this show because we
We do.
are.
Right.
Right.
Right. This is not about the fact that you pick up his shirts from dry cleaning.
right.
Right.
It's just
right.
a totally different planet. She just doesn't get it.
She doesn't get it. But like at least show him the respect to hear what he's saying and
Yes.
try to make it better.
I don't think she's capable.
I don't think she's capable either, which is very sad because
Yeah. I think she needs some therapy.
he's probably going to
seriously.
leave at some point. He probably really is going to leave at some point. It's sad.
It is sad.
Yeah, she said he was jabbing at me. He took this opportunity to be jabby. I was like, oh, no. He was trying to get you to listen.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
trying to get your attention. Because
Yeah.
obviously, like I said, if you got to say something like that to your spouse in that venue, there's a problem. You're
Right.
obviously not listening when he's tried to say this before. Because this is not just like something all of a sudden he pulled out of his ass and decided to say. this has been something that he has tried to bring to your attention numerous times, or else why
Right.
would he do it in that
Right.
venue? It just she's not getting it.
And even Pastor Mary said, if your husband tells you you're not a good listener, your husband knows you better than anyone. That means you're not.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's like then they come back from the break after the whole Lisa thing, and then Andy goes to Bronwyn. And he's like, oh, you're not running a youth hospital in your home, and you're facing off with your mother, Muzzy, despite the fact that she's wearing the sweatshirt that says, everything's fine, I'm fine. The fact is, like, life was not fine. And Bronwyn's issues with Todd are just the cherry on top. And I was like, ooh. And then they go through like some of the puns and some of the things that Todd said about the whole thing with the cherry on the sundae.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
I could totally picture Eric doing that.
Well,
I
yeah.
know. I mean,
Then
Yeah.
then going and buying a jar of maraschino
Huge.
cherries
Right.
and bringing
Right.
them home and being
bringing
like,
it
"Here
home.
you go."
There you go. Right.
Right. Right. Right. I don't know.
People definitely got jacked up about that.
They did. They did. Listen, the fact that she said that Todd went and watched all the episodes
Mhm.
Yes.
and then went on Reddit and got signed up for Instagram and read all. I'm like, oh, my heart broke, to be quite honest with you.
I was
Mhm.
gonna say, like, not a good move, Todd.
No,
Not
no,
a good move.
no.
I feel bad. I honestly,
But
I feel bad
it
for Todd.
does
I do.
I do too, and it does sound like from him doing that, maybe there's some self-reflection now.
Well, maybe. But I think that the deal with her and Todd is that she married him, she really relied on him, he became her rock, he was her support system, and I think that she probably, because of just his gruffness and she's like a Charles in charge kind of guy, she just got used to being very subservient
Yeah.
and she doesn't have great self-esteem, and I think she got on the show and it gave her more self-esteem, and then I think she filmed with him and then she looked back on it and she said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. What am I doing? Like this is not a healthy relationship. This is not." And I think she just kind of saw it for what it had evolved into, and it was probably just like, you know, they were happy and it was like a habit. It's like how they
Well, on top
mesh
of
together.
him possibly having extramarital affairs,
Right, right.
which I do think he did, because when Mary said, "Look how you've stuck by Todd." Like,
Mhm,
when Mary said that and
mhm.
something else happened with Mary and she, like, she was like, "Yeah," like, just leads me to believe that this guy has definitely stepped out and Bronwyn has stuck with him through it.
Yeah, I think probably like Lori said, because she felt like she had to.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well,
her
it's just
mother,
it was just a it just became like a habit, like, it's just how she was existing, it's just and she probably was basically happy in her marriage. She was just like, "Okay, well, this is just kinda
she
how
didn't
it
know
is,"
any
and
different. Right.
right, 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 and I think her seeing like, when you actually see it, then you kinda step back and be like, "Whoa."
It also came out about Muzzy and how Muzzy reacted to Bronwyn and the things that Muzzy said when Bronwyn explained to Andy, like after she saw her the first time herself, she's like, do I really come across that stern? And then by the time the second showing of Muzzy came out, she's like, all the memes came out and the jokes at her mom's expense. And Andy audibly sighed and said, "Oh God, I'm so sorry."
'Cause
Because
she blames
imagine
her.
that's your mom. Imagine that's your mom, right?
Right.
And I'm sure that's what Andy was thinking. Like, his mom is an older woman. You bring your mom on this show, and then all of a sudden, like everyone is
Hating
like
on her. Yeah.
pummeling her, right?
And
Making
she's
memes about
blaming
her.
you.
Right,
So not only is Andy picturing it happening to his own mother, he's also thinking like, "Oh, great, we've just added to the,
right.
you know, to the relationship that they had,
Yeah.
But
that
again,
strained relationship."
just like with her and Todd, maybe with her and her mother, it will lead to
Yeah.
self-reflection on all sides, and hopefully
Yeah.
everybody will come out better on the other end.
her mom and listen, I'm not trying to come down on this poor woman because I also think that this is an age thing because our parents are about the same age. I think that her mom is in denial about a lot of things.
Well, most
Obviously,
definitely.
she was in denial about her own husband's
Mm-hmm.
health condition.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that could be like an age thing where
And it's also the Mormon thing.
That's it, right there.
sure.
It was very important that she put the stamp out there, even after all these years, that this is not something that I approved of. Like that, it was more important that she put that stamp on there than she give her daughter a hug and be like, "But I'm sorry that I made that more important than you."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a lot, actually. I mean, I think that although I don't think we needed 3 episodes, I do think a lot came out in this episode that needed to come out, like, that we needed to know about, specifically, like, the Bronwyn, Todd, and Muzzy situation.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what Lisa's reaction to John was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of exactly what I expected. She didn't
I
even
was
get
just
it.
gonna say, we could have
Yeah.
called it, but it was nice to hear it from her own mouth.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
And
We
I
knew what
kinda
she was
liked
gonna say, but it was nice to hear it from her.
Right, I kinda
Yeah.
liked how Bronwyn was she kinda batted Meredith around a little bit,
Well,
and
she
Meredith was
checked Meredith something
she
proper.
cleaned her clock a little bit, and Meredith was like, and she's not usually like that, but I think but Bronwyn's a very articulate woman, and she does not get all
Yes.
flummoxed, and she's very so I was like, okay."
Yeah.
Yeah.
She ate Meredith up.
Yes, she did. And when Bronwyn was telling her story and Whitney was crying and she's asking her questions, "Are you living with him now?" And she's like, No." And Andy's like, "Well, where are you both living?" And she's like, "Well, I'm in Utah. He's in New York." And then Andy said, "Well, are you going to see him while you're here?" Because she was there filming the reunion. She's like, "No, I'm not." And
That was surprising.
yeah, that was surprising. And
A lot of people say that, and you just don't know what's true or not, because I do think she has a very calculating side to her. I'm not saying that I think that this is the case, but a lot of people do think that she came on the show to get divorced.
Yeah, people have said that.
Who
I
who
don't know if
knows
that's necessarily true though.
what the gig is, but
I have read that.
listen, it's not a bad plan, ladies. It's not a bad
It's
plan,
not a bad-
right?
it's not.
I mean,
it's really not a bad
Financially, it
plan.
really works out well for us.
It's not a
it's
bad
not
plan.
a bad plan.
You bring him on, he looks like a dick. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
plan B.
You rage
all
bait
right.
him a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, garner a
Listen.
little sympathy.
Yeah.
I mean, listen,
But
I feel
still
bad
like
for
her.
Todd.
I like her.
I like Bronwyn. I feel bad for Todd. No, she said she still loves him, and I believe that she does. I believe that she does love Todd. I don't think that that's fake. I don't think that she was pretending to love Todd. I think that she loves Todd. He's been there for her, a long time for her. He probably was a father figure for her.
Mm-hmm. Most
It is what it
definitely.
is, right? It is what it is.
Absolutely.
And Whitney, like we've seen so much of Whitney on these, we've seen so many different sides. She's another one. We've seen so many different sides of Whitney. We saw her when she first came on, when the show first started, and we found she was on her stripper pole then, and she was the bad Mormon at the time because she was with the married man and she broke up that marriage and she started her own business. She lost her own business. She got her own business. Like she's been through a lot as well. Like these
And
women
she's
are
shown
real people.
everything. Like her,
Yes.
like she's a little bit of an annoying little sister sometimes too, but she's
Yeah.
shown all of that.
Yeah,
And
she really has.
whatever she has going on, Bronwyn knows exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way that they silently
Mhm.
communicated, whatever it is that
Mhm.
Whitney's got going on, Bronwyn knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You could just tell.
Yeah. Listen, I just think that Meredith obviously needs to go because she's not showing us anything. Lisa, I mean, I think Lisa just wants everybody to think everything in her life is perfect, obviously, and it's not, obviously. Lisa can't get around not showing us certain things because people keep bringing them up, even her own husband at this point. But Meredith, she just shuts everything down and takes no accountability and admits to nothing. So, I mean, at least Lisa, she might talk over you and yell, and I'm not trying to defend her. I'm just saying at least she doesn't deflect and do what Meredith does. I guess she does in her own way.
She
In her
does
own way, she
almost
deflect.
don't,
definitely- yeah.
but they almost don't let her get away with it, where Meredith just gets away with it. She just digs her toes in the sand, and it's like,
Well, I did like that Whitney called out Meredith when they were talking about, Andy asked Britani about why she was so offended when Meredith was talking to her son on Mother's Day. And she's like, I thought it was rude. Whitney's like, listen, we're at work. Like, we're expected to not be on our phones when we're at work. And Meredith was trying.
But it wasn't the phone. The phone call was not the problem.
No, absolutely not. It was
the
the fact
phone-
that she was trying to get out of being in the hot seat. That's what it was all
Right.
about.
Right. And
Right.
her behavior after the whole sulking incident after the
Yeah.
phone.
But then Whitney says, because Meredith is trying to, and Whitney's like, listen, I actually have a big problem with this. All day I've heard you throw production under the bus. And that's what Meredith had been trying to do all season long. And the fact that Whitney called it out on the reunion and they aired it, I was glad to see it. Even though they didn't really give us the specifics that we know happened, at least she got that out. Because that's what Meredith does.
Andy even said, "What now?"
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So it's certainly not the first time.
Yeah. So.
But this is what happens. You keep being a problem, and then all of a sudden you're not going to be there no more. I mean, you be a problem to your cast members, you be a problem to production, and then there you go. So we'll see. We'll see what happens for the next
So now
season.
that's it. Salt Lake's done.
Salt Lake's done. Yep.
Salt Lake's done for this season, and we'll have to wait and see who comes back next season. I mean,
Somebody said it, and I think they're right. Who was I listening to? Maybe it was that guy Gibson on Anna and Ace, but he said Salt Lake City needs to take a break. They need to take a long break like other franchises do. Salt Lake City does not take the breaks that they need. And it's not good. They need to take a decent break, not a Jersey break.
Right.
break. That is a long
It's-
break.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
too
at this point, just leave it off. Nobody cares anymore. But like Beverly Hills, like we see them film 3 months out of the year, and then 6 months or so go by, and then we see them again. Like, where it's almost like you're seeing one season a year for us. That's
Right.
plenty.
Mhm.
That's plenty.
That's
yeah.
plenty. And Salt Lake it's just been going and going and going and going. So hopefully they'll give them that break. Maybe something will
What
happen
did
in Meredith's life that she'll want to share with everybody.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Well, she was on Jeff Lewis. I was listening to that. And Jeff is like, I don't even know why you're on this show. You have so many other things going on. You've got your Meredith Marks jewelry. You've got your caviar. You've got your DJ thing. I was like, oh my God, let her go.
Lord.
Let it go do
Yeah,
all
he's
those
just
things.
so
Go do them.
up her ass. I have a hard time listening to him anymore.
He is up her ass. Before we sign off, what were your thoughts on the final toast being baklava
I love
I thought that
Bugs.
Instead
was
of-
cute. Yeah, me too. I thought that was
instead of a
fun.
drink? Like normally it's like a drink.
Yeah.
I
I love
Bugs.
when Mary was like, "Oh, I can't eat that. It's sugar."
It's
And then she
sugar.
was like, "Oh, this looks good." And Andy was like, "You said you couldn't eat it."
She's like, "I'm
"Well,
not gonna
just
eat it, but it looks
I'm
good."
not going to eat it. but
I'm gonna
just
poke it
gonna
with
look
my
at it."
fork, but I'm not gonna eat. It's weird.
I liked it.
I did too. So anything
But
else?
did you see that they did play the preview for Rhode Island, and it said coming soon?
Yes, it did say coming soon, but we don't have a date.
I know, but just the fact that it said coming soon was exciting enough for me.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to
I
Rhode
cannot
Island.
wait. I cannot wait.
Lori's sighing. An audible sigh from Lori. Audible.
I can't
Yeah,
wait for
well,
Rhode Island. I
mm.
think it's going to be amazing because of what our favorite Danielle Cabral said to us at the Women's Expo when we saw her. All of these women are brand new. They're brand new. We don't know any of them. Nobody's an OG. We don't know anything about these women. We're learning all about them for the first time. So it's going to be great.
Yes, it's going to be great. One of them was
I don't think
The
my
Bachelor.
pitch is selling
No,
to Lori.
Lori's.
right?
Yeah. Maybe we'll
One
take
of
a
the- I'm
road
sorry,
trip to
one of
Rhode
them.
Island. I
We
think it
could
was
do
on The
that.
Bachelor.
I'm in.
Okay, so she's up for a road trip to Rhode Island. Maybe we'll take a
Absolutely.
road trip.
Rhode Island's beautiful.
She's always up for a road trip.
Yeah, road trip anywhere I'm going.
We'll go Rhode Island housewife hunting. Look at that face.
we're going to bring it back old school. We're going to bring it back like circa 2020.
Oh, Lord, you can just leave me at the bar and you two
Housewife
go.
hunting. Lori will be laying in the back seat, mortified.
Yes.
Wendy and I will be like
Exactly.
driving Miss Daisy.
Yes.
It's on.
Okay.
It's on.
There you go. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening. Please subscribe. Go find us on Instagram and follow us and get us on YouTube and subscribe. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.